Microvision technical analysis, fundamental statistics, along with reviewing my current positions and their price targets. Starting off with the price action, guys, we're on the 4-hourly chart here, and we just recently had a really important breakout off of this descending green trend line that I'm going over now, previous resistance line, and we now have three 4-hourly closes above this previous level of resistance. This will act as a level of support in the near future. If you're looking to get an entry point into the stock, firstly, before we go into the indicators or RSI or fundamentals, anything, where do I see this going short term? Personally, I think we're going to be doing very well in the short term. I know I'm a bull on the stock. I know you can see I have plenty of shares in Microvision, right? So it's, yes, I'm biased, okay? But guys, I'm gonna be giving you my reasoning for why I actually think we have plenty of upside left. Now, yes, we're coming up on several resistance levels, but we also have turned 3 previous resistance levels as the new support, and this is the main reason, okay? Yeah, we've ran up a little bit, all right? But if we actually look at the daily RSI here, relative strength index, we're looking at 57.98, okay? Now, let's look in the past. Now, the past is, of course, never necessarily indicative of the future, of course. But in the past, we don't stop at 57. We don't stop at 70 when it's overbought. Technically, we go on huge runs. And let me tell you something, also, guys. This is actually more important than RSI even. Okay, let's turn this off. The Microvision follows the Nasdaq very, very much. It is correlated very heavily to the Nasdaq's performance. Now, if we actually look at the Nasdaq. Before we do that, actually, let me just show you something, okay? The peak of Microvision, and to prove my point, okay? The 16th of February, I'm getting that number right here. Okay, the 16th of February was when we were at $24.18. That's 52-week highs for Microvision. Now, if we look at the NASDAQ, same day was its peak, the 16th. All right. Now, for the Nasdaq, it's looking very good. We predicted this basically perfectly. If you watched my my Nasdaq update, market sentiment update, right? We broke out, and I said as long as we can hold over this previous level of resistance here, this descending green trend line right here, this is going to be a new support, and we're likely to see a lot of upside. And as you can see, I have this big price target right here. And that's actually the larger one. The smaller one, the more conservative price target, is this one right here. Roughly 13.3K. We're already almost there, right? But either way, Kate, regardless of where you draw it, we still have plenty of upside, especially if you draw this one, right? Especially if you draw this price target based on the first touch point on this descending resistance. But if you draw for where there were a touch point on each one, it's much smaller, down to 13.3K. But anyway, guys, fundamentals and technicals are bullish on the Nasdaq, in my opinion. And the Microvision follows the Nasdaq very heavily. And the Nasdaq will essentially, besides catalysts, and of course it doesn't mirror it exactly, of course, but it will usually do what the Nasdaq does with a higher, of course, much higher volatility, right? If the Nasdaq goes up 1%, Microvision might go up 5%, and if it goes down, the exact same, roughly, okay, normally in the aggregate. All right. So let's go back to Microvision. Let's look at some other indicators here. Okay, if we go on the 4-hourly, let's look at the 4-hourly RSI and MACD. Taking a look at the MACD on the 4-hourly, we're in bullish territory here. There's not much to say here. On the RSI, we're at 64.81. MACD on the daily, again, MACD on the daily is very delayed usually, okay, but the signal line is losing some ground to the MACD line, and once you see a crossover there, that is going to be a buy signal, but in my opinion, not the best one, in my opinion. But let's look at some other more important indicators, like the moving averages, the golden crosses. Most important golden cross happened way long ago, and if you actually would have followed this advice, okay, it's actually way back here. All right, if you actually would have gotten into the stock middle of last year, you would have gotten in at like $1. Oh, wouldn't that be nice? $1, man, that would be nice. Yeah, you're up like more than an insane amount right now. But if you would have followed the moving average golden cross, the 200-day EMA being below the 55-day moving average, you will be sitting very nice. Now, that does not mean that because there's a gap right now and it's widening, that doesn't mean we're going to be going for another 10x, right? But it does mean that we're in bullish territory, and we also have the 15-day moving average above of the 200-day exponential moving average. If you're confused on how I'm getting these numbers, this is your key right here: moving average, exponential moving average. So that is bullish. We're in bullish territory, obviously. There, looking at the Bollinger Bands, I think these colors are a little more simple. They contrast a little better. The middle Bollinger Band, we actually did, where the price action is now currently above the middle Bollinger Band. And as I said, I've been saying this for a while. When you go to the upside on the Bollinger Band, you are inevitably going to come to the bottom. And when you go to the bottom, to the downside of the Bollinger Band, towards this bottom Bollinger Band, you're going to inevitably come to the middle Bollinger Band, right? That's how it works. That's just 100% of the time. Eventually, 100% of the time, it will come back to that middle Bollinger Band, whether that's in a month or a week or in a day or in 2 years, right? And it's not, pretty much never going to be 2 years, right? I mean, I guess technically there's a chance of that, not really though. But either way, we're going to be getting some support from this middle Bollinger Band sitting at roughly 1669 right now. That is not a bad entry point for the stock, in my opinion. So that is obviously that is a bullish indicator, in my opinion. Now let's look at some fundamentals. Insider trading, 7% of the shares outstanding is owned by insiders. Extremely bullish, in my opinion. You guys know I love insider ownership. It's extremely, not necessarily, but very very correlated with success in terms of price action and the stock's performance. Institutional ownership, I don't like this stat as much, but it is very high. So if you like that stat, very bullish. For me, slightly bullish, right? I don't really care too much about institutional ownership, but nonetheless, it is slightly bullish. FinViz, using FinViz kind of as like a secondary source to fact check what Fintel.io says is, it's not a real fact check, right? For us retail investors, there's nothing there's no such thing as 100% fact check, right? 15% institutional ownership according to FinViz and less than 1% insider ownership. Now, FinViz likes to undershoot the insider ownership compared to Fintel.io a lot of the time, so just keep that in mind. This is Microvision's website here. This is their intellectual property. They have patents for a lot of this stuff. And this is kind of just shows you that, yeah, this company has a lot of things that have a lot of potential. For example, automotive LiDAR application patent, right? That LiDAR technology, it could be the thing that sends the stock to our bull case price target here. 1 second, of $150. Okay, I think I actually upgraded this price target at the end of your bull case. I had this like at 60 to 80, and I recently upgraded it to 60 to 150. That's how bullish I am on this company. Okay, I think it's a realistic price target. Okay, I do. All right, end of your bear case is 30. I do not think it's going to hit 150 for sure. Nothing is for sure. All right, I just want to be clear on that. Okay, but we're not even in the current section position. Okay, but this is their website. Okay, if you don't know about this company, if you don't know about this company's website and their technology and some run throughs on what their technology actually is, right? Actually give this a look, especially if you're already invested in Microvision. It will increase your conviction, and I think it will serve you very well in the future. This is I'll link this in the description. You're welcome, because this is if you need a quick recap on why it was skyrocketing. I mean, it didn't really skyrocket. I mean, yeah, it kind of did. 17%, 2% after hours. Yeah, that's a skyrocket. But for us, it's like that's normal every day. Not really. Okay, not really. I'm just bragging around. Okay, I'm messing around and brag. All right, I'm not serious. But yeah, this will be linked if you want to give this a look. There is some decent information in this. Okay, there's a recent article, so I thought we would cover it briefly. Current positions. Microvision, April 7th price target of $17 has already been hit. We're already right on them. Now, no, don't get me wrong. These price targets are not insanely, they're not as bullish as these last ones were, right? And we got 6 out of 7 of these right. So we're likely to get probably, almost all of these right, if not all of them. We are likely to. Now, of course, there are some ones in here that are very bullish, okay, like CTXR, that's nearly a 100% upside, and Nano Dimension, that's nearly a 100% upside, but I'm confident in them, and that's what I'm sticking with. And if I'm wrong, I will tell you. I wouldn't even have to. You would know either way, because I'm that transparent, right? You can take a picture of this. You can look at my old videos, right? I don't delete videos. So yeah, I like, I mean, you already know I got one wrong, and I'm taking it. If you're bag holding, I'm going to be bag holding with you if there's something wrong in here. Okay, so don't feel alone if we ever are wrong on something and we're down like 50%. Okay, I'm going to be bag holding with you in that scenario. If we're wrong, because let's check out my my account here. I'm already. This is your proof. There's my. This is the exact dollar amount I have in every single stock that we're talking about, right? Um, so we're looking at relevant information in regards to the title is finished now. Feel free to click off if you have more important things to do. This is the part where I do stuff most YouTubers do in the first 5 seconds, plus cool stuff as well. Merchant/Patreon. So obviously you see we got the webcam on. Yay, you can see my face now. Yay, so great. Not really. I don't really care about the face cam, but I spent like way too much time earlier today figuring it out. My computer glitched out because I don't know. It was just too much information for it. This is a good computer. I keep it running pretty clean. I delete stuff. I permanently delete stuff off. I delete it like 7 times, right? Because it goes to recycle, right? Not fully deleted. Yes, I delete stuff I don't use. I don't have much data on this computer. This is a new laptop, and it's having problems, right? I know I put it through the ringer with Webull, right? Webull's got like a ton of information, right? Especially with all the stocks that we covered, but yeah, that was annoying. But anyways, that's not even relevant. But this is the irrelevant section, right? So technically, it is relevant to this section, I guess, if you want to get technical. But the merchandise and Patreon, I think I'm going to have it ready by this week. Everything is ready except the designs for the merchandise, which is going to be a pain in my arse. But we will get that done. And the Patreon is looking really nice. I got the Discord ready pretty much. I'm gonna have the library, the full access library. I'm gonna get that going. There's a lot of cool stuff on the page. I'm really excited for what we're gonna be doing there. If you have a serious suggestion or question, guys, brandonballsy.com. That's where you want to reach me. Also, guys, I forgot this. Okay, merchandise. About the merchandise, it's not what you would typically think. Hey, it's a good system that we got going. I think now it's not necessarily what I wanted for sure because I think it's a little less. I don't know, but basically it's weird because instead of just buying merch, like being like, okay, this is a shirt I want, okay, order it and then pay it, right? Instead of that, it's like, okay, you gotta pick a tier that you're in on Patreon, and then after you've been in that tier for 3 months, then you get one merch item. I know it's weird, but Patreon. Now I know if you don't trust Patreon, okay, by all means don't do this. But I'm telling you right now, Patreon it's safe, okay. Although although I think I could make a business much better than Patreon and do it in a much more user friendly way. It is safe. So many YouTubers use it, right? Just go to your favorite YouTubers that are millions of subscribers. They're using it, or at least a lot of them are. So it is safe, but it's not like you got to pay straight up for merch. It's more pay for a tier, you get benefits, and then you'll get 4 pieces of merchandise: a mug, t-shirt, long sleeve shirt, and a hoodie throughout the year. You'll get it basically at the end of each quarter of a year since you started. Okay, I know that's complicated. I know it's complicated. Whatever. I'm not going to rant forever. Okay, we'll get more on the details later. I'm Stacey. I was an professional from everyone. Use several brokers. If you want to use Webull, free stock link in the description. Our business model is never going to change. Buying into the moon. Power is always dangerous. It attracts the worst and it corrupts the best. From Ragnar, the second best show / movie / series / storyline ever. Vikings, second to the one and only Lord of the Rings, not including The Hobbit, right? The Hobbit sucks. Lord of the Rings is the best series in my opinion. It's not financial advice, guys. Thank you all so much. I'll see you all in the next one.